Good Tavach, everybody. A good week. Something came up last night at Minyan. I should really be davening in shul, but in the summer it's a little easier that people make minyanim in their house. So I went to a house minyan last night to pray. They were talking. There was one guy there, he said his son was in the Israeli army. Another friend of mine, he was expressing his respect for that, and I just kept my mouth shut, not there to get into politics or to, you know. So then and this was like, not like a big tough guy. He said, in Israel, there was an Arab working on the roof in his house, and his son went up to him with his machine gun, threatening him. And he said, if you dare do anything wrong, you'll pay for it. Seriously? Like, and they were so proud of this. And I wanted to just give it to them. How disgusting. That's how you treat someone. They're coming and working for you, and you have to harass them just because they have a different religion than you. I don't understand that. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, if someone is coming after you trying to kill you, yeah, it's self-defense. This guy's just trying to do his job, just trying to live his life. He's not responsible for just for all the things that other people of his same religion or whatever do. That's not his business. He's just trying to make a living. He's just trying to do his job, and he's serving you, and you're threatening him and harassing him. That's not what the Torah wants from us. That's not Judaism. That's not Jewish. It made me think of the story of the Kloisenberger Rebbe. The Kloisenberger Rebbe was very moderate. He was very supportive of all kinds of things. He wasn't an extremist, right? He could say to a certain extent he had a certain level of support for the state of Israel. Whatever that means it's difficult. Whatever it is, he was the one that when the Nazis, Yimach Shemam, were beating him up, and they said, Rabbiner, tell us, are you still believe you're the chosen people? He said, yes. And then they hit him even harder, worse. They said, how could you still believe you're the chosen people? He says, yes, of course. How could you believe you're the chosen people? Look, we're beating you up. We're destroying you. And the Kloisenberger Rebbe said, as long as we're not the ones who are doing the beating, we're still the chosen people. It's just, clearly, this type of nonsense. I'm not saying this is how all Israeli soldiers are. I'm not saying this is how Israel is in general. But that type of extremism, it doesn't. I would even go so far. It doesn't say, Rav Ovadia Yosef said when it comes to the Israeli soldiers. Rav Ovadia Yosef was the chief rabbi of the state of Israel, and he said that when it comes to Israeli soldiers, some of them, it doesn't matter. They could put on Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, and it doesn't mean anything. The same thing. The Shabbos, the Kashrus, whatever they keep. If you don't have just basic human decency, what is it really worth? I'm not going to say it's worth nothing. But seriously, you're going to harass someone because they have a different religion? Because some people in their religion have attacked people in our religion, and that's a reason to harass someone? And to threaten them with a gun? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? You think that's what God wants from us? And I'll say even better, like my friend Usher Mesa says, what are you offering them? Like Rabbi Mesa says, wouldn't it be better if all the Arabs convert to Judaism? And then these zionim, they're like, no, we don't want them. So what do you expect then? What kind of nonsense is that? Again, that's not Torah. That's not Yiddishkeit. To be racist and cruel, and especially to attack a religion that's so similar to our own. It just doesn't make any sense. And it really doesn't matter what religion someone is. Even if a religion is totally different. But if someone's a nice person, they treat other people, who cares? Again, this guy who's working on your roof or your father's roof, he has something to do with a terrorist? I mean, it's really sickening. And this could only come with Zionism. I don't want to make it a Zionist issue, because I know not all the Zionists are like this. But the thing is something like this would never happen if there wasn't such a thing, Zionism. There wouldn't be such a havamina there wouldn't be such an idea that you can treat other human beings in such a way, especially from a Jew. We've always been Rachmanim V'Goyim Lechasonim. We're merciful people, kind people, selfless people. That's been the whole hallmark of what Torah wants from us. And yet, these people, the Erev Rav, acting like this. It's not Yiddish. It's not. It's not. And when we say Erev Rav, we have to understand what Erev Rav means. It's not racist against other human beings of another race who convert to Judaism. That's Rav Victor Miller said. One of the biggest Kiddush Hashem in history was that so many people converted to Judaism by Har Sinai, the Erev Rav. But the Zohar Kodesh explains Erev Rav. There's also the non-human Erev Rav. There's a human Erev Rav and there's a non-human Erev Rav. You could even go so far as to say the word Erev, meaning mixed, means that they're hybrid human and non-human entities. And so the Zohar says among the Erev Rav you have the Negara. Neg is the Nephilim, Giborim, Anakim, and Ra is Rephoim, Amalekim. Different species. This week's Sedra we talk about Mechias Amalek, and the Chavetz Chaim said, and Rebbe Chanan explains like this, that a monk even infiltrate into the secular society of people claiming to be Jewish, the Jewish community, secular Jewish leaders, is the Erev Rav from Amalek, like the Zohar says there. We could even go so far as to say that there's also perhaps some kind of a non-human element there as well. So whether you want to call it extraterrestrial, or extra-dimensional, or whatever it is, it's very interesting. The Rashi says that Amalekim are shapeshifters. And it's Rashi in Sefer Shmuel, and so maybe all the other Erev Rav creatures were also shapeshifters, and there's all these conspiracy theories about reptilian shapeshifters. Gemara calls a certain type of reptile B'nai Nephilim, the children of the Nephilim, and so it seems to indicate that the Nephilim also is a reptilian aspect. Reptilian form, and so all these conspiracy theories about reptilian shapeshifters in the Zionist world. I'm not saying it's true. It sounds crazy, right? I'm not saying it's true. But what I'm saying is a lot of people they jump right away to say that those people are anti-Semites, and they're not. Because if they're anti-Semites, the Zohar Kodesh is anti-Semitic. Then the Chavetz Chaim, who is the greatest lover of Jewish people, his whole life was about loving Jews. He could call them anti-Semites. It's the same kind of nonsense people call Ben Shapiro, the Ehrlich, in German, Shemer Shabbos, Shemer Ter Mitzvahs, and they call him an anti-Semite. He wears the yarmulke all the time, and they call him an anti-Semite. I mean, it's ridiculous, But that's the world we live in, because that's how the Erev Rav operates. They'll go and say, and infiltrate into the society, and they'll go and make some kind of nonsense like this to say the exact opposite of the truth. Kol poisel b'mumei poisel. So with that in mind, let's try to live up to what it means, like the Klausenberger Rebbe said, to be the chosen people, which means that we're not putting down others, that we're not subjugating others, that we're not persecuting others, but rather that we should fulfill what our job is as being the chosen people, which is to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, to spread the light of Torah to the whole world. Which it doesn't necessarily mean they have to accept our religion, although it would be nice. It's a positive thing if other people come into our religion, and they're sincere about it. And they live a Torah lifestyle. That's a beautiful thing, and they believe in Torah. They should convert. But the fact of the matter is, the other religions of the world have had effect from the Torah that God gave us, and the world has become a better place because of that. Even religions that are very far from Yiddishkeit, in a certain sense, at least externally in their form. Think about, the two obvious religions that are more similar to our own religion, that come from our own religion, are Christianity and Islam. So the influence that Christianity and Islam has had on other religions, we could discuss in Hinduism, monotheistic theology, yes, no. We'll put that aside. Talking about character and practice, when people, they speak out against imperialism is so bad. Imperialism made the world a better place. When the British imperialism upon India, for example, meant that there was an end to the caste system. The Indians then got their independence, but it was after they were blessed with the blessings of Torah that they got from the Christians from England, who got their ideas of ethics and morality from Judaism, from Torah. So, for example, the story goes, I don't know, it was a British general. He approached someone in India, something. He said, we'll respect that you have a tradition in your culture to burn widows, but then you have to respect our tradition and our culture that we hang men who burn widows. What does it mean? It means that essentially that widow burning came to an end because they didn't say, all right, some people became Christians, some people didn't. Some people, there were Jews in India also, there were, Muslims, But that being said, meaning this major affront to basic decency of not believing in the value of human life, which is the main contribution that Torah gave, that Judaism gave to the world, is human rights and the value of human life. Meaning before, these societies that we look up to, the ancient Romans, ancient Greeks, they didn't value human life. They had great men and great women who did, but for the most, I heard Hugh Hewitt on the radio. I don't know. He had someone else. He said that Marcus Aurelius was one of the greatest Christians who ever lived, and he wasn't a Christian. What they don't know is that Marcus Aurelius was a student of Rabbeinu HaKodesh, that he really was a student of Judaism. And so much of the philosophy that Marcus Aurelius taught was Jewish, because he was best friends with Rabbeinu HaKodesh. Assuming that the Antoninus, the Gemara describes as Marcus Aurelius. His father's name was Antoninus. But generally, that's what most scholars will say. So let's have these things in mind. Like Rabbeinu HaKodesh did. Rabbeinu HaKodesh didn't say, oh, you're a Roman, you're from the people who destroyed our temple, I can't even be friends with you, you're Esav son of Yaakov, halacha he Esav son of Yaakov, blah, blah, halacha, that's not what it means, it's not even pshat, it's talking, and Rabbeinu HaKodesh didn't live like that. And our whole Yiddishkeit we have today, there wouldn't be without Rabbeinu HaKodesh, without the Mishnayos. It's so central to what we have is how Rabbeinu Kodesh redacted our Mishnayos, how we have it today. And if he could be friends with Marcus Aurelius, we could also be friends with everybody. And that's what we're supposed to do. I'm sorry, excuse me. That's how we're supposed to live our lives. We're supposed to be a light into the nations. We're supposed to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. We're supposed to be there to illuminate the whole world with the message of Torah. And the irony is that there's so many people who claim they're talking about human rights, don't believe in human rights. They believe in collectivism. And that's one of the major problems of the left, of the European so-called right, which is really just a type of the left. And the fact of the matter is that America, in its ideology, which does view the value of individual human rights, as few countries, even Western civilized countries in the world, very few of them have the same American ideal like that. So, with all this being said, we should be zeicher to good tevach, all the best.